Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only, so for those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. So through this channel I'm going to bring you some stock analysis and also a short 5-minute trading lesson at the end, so please stay tuned. Okay, in terms of the previous day's trading, I think we can all agree that it was a red day for most of the stocks, especially the EV sector. It was also a bad day for the Bitcoin stocks. However, I think a recovery there is also fairly imminent. I do not believe that this was a stock market crash. I think it was more of a correction. We did see as soon as the shares hit rock bottom, there was quite a bit of a recovery, and some stocks did end up finishing in green. Not many, but there was a few glimmers of hope there. One of them was a stock that I have brought you earlier, and that was Orbital Energy, ticker symbol OEG. This did finish in green, just closing over 3.77%. And another stock that I brought a very deep dive analysis in, ticker symbol CTXR. So congratulations to everybody who got into this play, which I think the momentum is very, very good. It's up 37.8% in the week and just over 84% on the month as of time of filming, and it was closed at $2.33. So it did go into the red. One of my strategies for this stock was to buy some additional shares, and right now I'm in excess of 20% up on this stock, so I'm quite bullish about this. So please refer back to the previous video about ticker symbol CTXR, why I think this is a stock that could significantly go up in value. So let's start by having a look at a news article here from the Motley Fool in terms of why clean energy shares plunged in excess of 22% on the previous day's trading. So one of the reasons they've identified here is that, first of all, oil prices did drop earlier at the start of trading, and this coincided with the low in clean energy fuels. However, there was some momentum back in a positive way. And what's going to happen now? So let's have a look at the rest of the article. So it says on here, market sell-offs do happen. So there was a big sell-off, and sometimes stocks like clean energy will take a harder hit. And if in my previous video, one of the things that I did say was a factor in this fall in clean energy stocks is there was a perception that a lot of these stocks are overvalued. So that's why I'm thinking it's more of a correction than a crash. However, this is not a reason to change your investment. So most analysts are still bullish on clean energy stocks long term, and we saw some excellent recoveries, especially with ticker symbol CLNE. It came back from $11.52 closing at $13.59. Although that's still 7% down, it's a significant recovery, and we saw with Orbital Energy it did finish in excess of 3% up. So going long term, I think it's nothing really to worry about. It's more of a market correction. So if you still have these shares, it's not something that I would have sleepless nights off. I am confident of a good recovery going forward. Okay, so one of the stocks I brought you earlier in one of my analysis videos was ticker symbol FVRR, Fiverr International. So this is a stock that I'm quite bullish on. However, on the 22nd of February, just at the start of the decline in lots of the shares that we saw, I did sell this stock at price $295. So I have sold out of Fiverr International. So the reasons I sold out was to invest in some of the other stocks that were quite significantly down. So I'll talk about that shortly as well. However, in terms of Fiverr International, if we look at what happened on the previous day's trading, it did at one point close down, reach down at $248. So it was a good decision, I think, for me to sell at $295. However, one of the reasons why I think this stock is very good going forward, and it will always give you recovery in terms of your investment, is what we saw in the previous day's trading. Although it went down at one point to $244, it did close almost in green at $276, which was just below 1% close. So let's have a look at a news article here on Fiverr International. So we can see again from Motley Fool, Fiverr International shares plunged 15.5% and then bounced back. So this is a very good bounce back stock that you can put on your watch list. ticker symbol FVRR. And this is a stock that I've invested originally with my average price being $214. So it will be a stock that I'm going to keep on monitoring. I will be looking to make another entry in this at some point. However, as I sold my shares in Fiverr at the moment, the money has been used elsewhere. But let's have a look at the news article here in Motley Fool. So we can see that obviously Fiverr International is a tech stock, and the tech stocks were hit hard. So initially the shares did go down 15.5% as we saw, but there was a very significant bounce back. So why is this stock very good for going forward in terms of your return in high growth? So obviously they had excellent return on their earnings that we saw earlier in the week. So the shares overall were up in excess of 727% on the year. So there was a little bit of a pullback. That's expected. That's normal. However, going forward, it's very good stock with enormous potential. So let's look at the rest of the article. So obviously, such drops are part of normal volatility, especially with a high growth stock like Fiverr International. So what are the potential now? So top share with it's still a top share with enormous growth potential. In terms of going forward, it not only does this company enjoy a dominant market, but it's always also got a leading position. So we saw some news in my previous video in terms of Fiverr International that they are now starting to target advertising and commercial organizations. So going forward, I do expect a recovery in this well in excess of $300. So put this on your watch list. Fiverr International, ticker symbol FVRR, an excellent stock which will give you good return on your investment. Okay, I'd like to look at three stocks which are EV stocks, which took a very big hit yesterday in the previous day's trading. And these are stocks are called Nio, XPeng and Li Auto. So these were trading very significantly lower because of the hit and also because of the sell-off for EV stocks. So we can see Li Auto was down in excess of 6.9%. Nio was down 7% at one point. Nio I think closed close to $42. Let me just check that. And yeah, just below $42 Nio, and XPeng was down 7.6% as well. So you could say this is a very good sale for these stocks in terms of buying as a buying opportunity because these are stocks that most analysts do expect to fully recover. So let's look at what the rest of the article says. So generally, when the market is down, such stocks also get hit quite sharply. So there is a significant fall. However, it's hard to predict. We don't know what's going to go on in terms of the future, but long term, especially with what we can say in this article with the $1.9 trillion COVID relief package, lots of economists have been worried about inflation, mainly because of people selling off and obviously cashing in. So the other thing that we have here is obviously in terms of the US Treasury bond has risen to 1.37%, and that's still quite low, but obviously it hasn't been as high since the early 2020. So just to finish off on this article in terms of these stocks, we can say here that although they are fallen, and that is also in response to Tesla. So we can see that the Li Auto, Nio, and XPeng generally follow the trend of Tesla because obviously Tesla is the market leader in terms of EV, and these are kind of the next competitors. So, however, for long term, the conclusion is these stocks are all going to recover. I'm probably more bullish on Nio, closed at $49.11. So it was a very good recovery considering the significant decline. So if you are holding these stocks, I wouldn't be too worried again. So let's just finish off on the article. So we can see that all the three stocks reported excellent fourth quarter earnings for 2020. So Li Auto these are dates for your diary now. So Li Auto is going to report their earnings Thursday, February the 25th, which is right now, and basically the next day, before the US markets open. Nio will report earnings next Monday, March the 1st, another date for your diary. as soon as the markets close, and XPeng will report earnings Monday, March the 8th in the morning. So 3 important dates for your diary for these stocks. Okay, it's now time for lesson of the day. So today's lesson is looking at apps for business news. So before we look at the individual apps, I'm just going to tell you why it's important to look at and monitor business news. So it's very important because this will help you to make decisions on when to buy shares, when to sell shares. So it's very important to look at the news before the start of trading, after the close of trading, and also especially at weekends to help you plan in terms of what you need to trade. So I'll give you two examples of how I have benefited from notifications from news and breaking news. So for example, first example of how I benefited from this was from a Bloomberg breaking news on CCIV. As soon as that came through that there is a strong rumor that they are in talks with Lucid Motors, I made an instant investment in CCIV at $12.99. So lots of people who were a bit more slow on this news managed to invest at 15, 20, 25, 30, which was still a good price considering if you did manage to sell in excess of 60. However, once I made my investment at $12.99, I did cash in and take profits on 2 or 3 occasions all the way up. And then obviously we already know what happened with CCIV. Another benefit I had in terms of monitoring the news was with ticker symbol UAVS. And this was a drone stock that I brought earlier. There was a rumor came through that they created false rumors about their contract with Amazon. So this sent the stock plummeting down. So as soon as that news broke through, I sold my stock immediately, and I think it fell from $15 to close to $10. So it's kind of a huge fall. So for $15 to $10, that we're looking at in excess of 33% fall. So that's the benefits of having news. So let's have a look at the options that you have. So Yahoo News is a good one. That is free. Everything is available. You don't need to worry about that. However, it might not include all of the up-to-date breaking news. Seeking Alpha is very good for notifications, very good for breaking news, but it's not always free. But it's good to keep the notifications on if you're not paying for this. Bloomberg is probably one of the best for significant breaking news. So that one, obviously, Bloomberg will get the credit for giving us the CCIV news. Market Watch is another one. That's good for general news, just in terms of what's going on with the NASDAQ, what's happening with the general shares, what's happening with the overall market. So that gives you a good overall idea. So I hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching, and please join me again.